24 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
There's some breaking news out of the nation's capital tonight. The White House just took a legal hit to its global tariff agenda.
A federal trade court has ruled President Trump didn't have the authority to impose some of his sweeping tariffs. Now, this includes his so-called Liberation Day tariffs, as well as earlier levies on China, Mexico, and Canada. Now this decision freezes most of the tariffs before any trade deals were ever finalized.
The president tried to use the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977 to impose these widespread tariffs, which gives him some power to regulate international trade in response to national emergencies. But the judges ruled that there are limits to that power. Now, the president hasn't responded to this news yet, but the stock market sure has. Futures for the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 all jumped into the green, which is a relief after months of ups and downs, mostly due to the White House's trade policies. Also breaking tonight, Elon Musk is stepping down as top advisor to President Trump. This comes after he criticized the president's spending bill, saying he was disappointed with it. Now, the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates the bill would add over $3 trillion to the national deficit. Musk says that undermines his work to slash spending. Meanwhile, Republicans claim the bill will help Americans by providing sweeping tax cuts. Musk has been at the front line of significant job cuts across the federal government as DOGE tried to root out what they called waste and bureaucracy. He even posted on X today, which he owns, thanking the president and saying that the DOGE mission will become a way of life.
The Greektown facelift has some business owners feeling nervous, while the streetscape transformation has everybody excited about the future, and a few business owners are feeling the pinch right now. The $20 million overhaul will modernize much of Greektown. The project will widen the sidewalks, add brick pavers, and give businesses more room for outdoor seating. But owners need to survive construction first. Victor Williams spent the night talking to several business owners. He joins us now. Victor, some are seeing less foot traffic than normal.
Demond, Kimberly, that's right. This is already not that pleasant of a sight, as you guys can see right here. But just imagine how the businesses feel having to see this all day, every day. On top of that, with even less customers.
When they're finished, yes, it'll probably be great for everyone. But in the meantime, there's always going to be some interruption of business.
Lots of people are looking forward to the revitalization of Greektown, with construction now be wrapping up next summer. But some of the businesses in the area are wondering if they can wait that long.
Yes, there is a challenge. But remember, the bigger challenge is if all this interruption put us out of business, that's a bigger challenge.
Tony Stovall is the owner of Hot Sam's Detroit, who says he's really feeling the impact of the project that's literally ripping the ground surrounding his store on Monroe. But he's trying his best to be patient.
There's going to be interruption of business, and I think I want all of us business persons to relax and see the growth of downtown Detroit and look at the foot traffic we do have and wait until the future continues to get brighter.
Foot traffic itself may be hard with how narrow walking spaces become, but people like Scott Delano are still out there.
The construction is a little bit difficult, but you know what the cool thing is, though? You see the revitalization of the city. They're putting money into it, they're doing work. So yeah, you get a little inconvenience, but you know long-term wise it would be here.
The bar scene may also be feeling some of the effects, but ultimately Tony Pereno, the owner of the Firebird Tavern, says he thinks in the long run it'll be totally worth it.
If you look at it as an observer and you're just walking down the street, it looks just terrible. From a business perspective, it hasn't been as bad as you might think. You can still walk down the street, it's just you can't drive down Monroe.
And you're going to be seeing these signs all over Greektown, just letting people know, yes, the businesses are open. The people are going to have to just be patient, along with the businesses as well. Live in Greektown, Victor Williams.
Yeah, let's hope people understand and they can certainly survive the construction. Victor, thank you. The fight to hold school officials accountable in the Oxford High School shooting is over.
The Michigan Supreme Court chose to not hear arguments in a civil lawsuit against Oxford schools. The lawsuit claimed teachers and staff were negligent in preventing the 2021 deadly shooting. Well, the High Court's ruling affirms a lower court decision that Oxford Community Schools and its employees have governmental immunity. For the families of the victims, it's a devastating blow.
I'm shocked. I can't believe that a tragedy of this nature, our government can just sweep it under the rug and say, sorry for your luck, when it was preventable.
Well, the school district's attorney celebrated the ruling, saying employees should not be held responsible for the criminal acts of independent third parties.
We're still waiting to hear from Governor Gretchen Whitmer after learning President Trump is looking into potentially pardoning Barry Croft and Adam Fox and others who were convicted of plotting to kidnap the governor. The president expressed this was a possibility after swearing in Jeanine Pirro as the new U.S. attorney for Washington, D.C. 14 men were charged in connection with the kidnapping plot. 9 were convicted, including Croft, who's serving a 19-year sentence, and Fox, who's serving 16 years. The ex-boyfriend of Ashley Elkins, a Macomb County woman missing since January, came face-to-face with her family during today's probable cause conference. DeAndre Booker is charged with premeditated murder, tampering with evidence, and concealing death. Police found clues in a dumpster at Booker's apartment, leading to a search at a local landfill. But legal experts tell us the current case feels mostly circumstantial. Booker is due back in court June 25th.
Well, tonight we're getting a first-hand look at a police chase in Warren that ended with a deadly crash. The chase started around 9:30 Sunday night. That's what investigators say Anthony Greer was seen speeding on Van Dyke Avenue. Warren police said they attempted a traffic stop, but Greer sped off. Video shows Greer driving on the sidewalk in the middle turn lane and through several stoplights. It's dramatic video as he attempted to flee. The pursuit ended when his car entered an intersection at South Van Dyke Avenue and 9 Mile Road. That's where it struck a car, killing the other driver. Greer was quickly arrested. He's now facing several charges, including second-degree murder.
A woman connected to a teenage shooting suspect is now facing serious charges. We're talking about what happened earlier this month in the parking lot of Lee M. Thurston High School in Redford Township. Police say a student brought a gun to school in his backpack that accidentally discharged, hitting another student in the hand. Prosecutors say the 28-year-old woman who owned the gun failed to properly secure it. If convicted, she could face up to 5 years in prison. Stellantis is set to welcome a new CEO. Antonio Filosa earned the title after serving as the chief operating officer for both the South American and North American divisions. He previously led the Jeep brand, where he significantly expanded Jeep's footprint in Europe and enhanced the popularity of the Avenger model. Filosa will officially assume his new role June 23rd.
Well, new tonight, things are about to start looking a little brighter in some parts of Highland Park as brand new street lights are being installed. Well, groundbreaking for the long-anticipated street lights was held this morning. The nonprofit Solidarity is helping donate solar street lights to the city. Neighbors who've been living without street lights for more than a decade there say the new lights will help make their blocks safer. For now, 5 of the solar street lights are being installed on Louise and 5 are being placed on Florence. We're told Solidarity and its partners are planning a big block party to celebrate once installation is completed by the end of June.
Political businesses and community leaders are on Mackinac Island discussing ways to better the state of Michigan. It's all part of the annual Mackinac Policy Conference. And our Jason Colthorpe caught up with one Michigan lawmaker to get insight on the ongoing talks in Washington over the government spending bill.
Good evening from Mackinac Island. Another exciting day at the Mackinac Policy Conference. Got a chance to catch up with Congresswoman Debbie Dingell about the current situation in D.C. and where the budget process stands. As you know, it went through the House, barely passed, is now to the Senate, but it's got to come back to the House likely. And it could be a wild situation after what we already saw. Here were her thoughts. Do you think you're in for another fight with these overnight sessions like what we saw? And why, in your opinion, would some of these start at 1 a.m.?
Well, I could say to you honestly, I don't think Republicans wanted people to watch what they were doing, so they did it in the dead of night with hopes that no one would see what they were doing. But I spent 4 all-nighters, 4 in a 2-week period. Natural resources, energy and commerce. Yes, the one where I close my eyes to think about how am I going to keep healthcare from being ripped away from people.
I'm not alone up here at Mackinac. Ty Steele is on the island this week as well. And the other interesting thing today was Mike Duggan gave a key speech, and I would call it a campaign speech, a true independent speech where he was firing away at both sides.
And it was Mayor Mike Duggan at his best, using that keynote speech to hit on 2 main points, talking about Detroit's comeback story, and number 2, attacking the state's broken educational system. He says he's running for governor for 2 main reasons. I caught up with him after his speech. Here's what he had to say.
It's the education and it's the population loss. I see those 2 long-term trends as undercutting Michigan's competitiveness. We're going to wake up in 10 years, and the whole technology economy that, of course, is today based in Silicon Valley and Austin and Miami, is also starting to move to Columbus and Indianapolis.
Now, the mayor did talk about how he would rebuild Michigan's educational system, including a $4.5 billion budget to do so. He has a very detailed plan. I've got that on my page, and we're going to post that on clickondetroit.com.
Good stuff, Ty. Coming up tomorrow morning, by the way, I'm interviewing Governor Gretchen Whitmer, 7:45 a.m., and you bet we're going to ask about the rumors that President Trump is planning to pardon those who plotted to kidnap and kill her. All that tomorrow. But for now, from the island, along with Ty Steele, I'm Jason Colthorpe. Back to you.